comes to putting up dull buildings, the Japanese really are in a class of their own. But recently, they started to tart the place up a bit. Same goes for cars. They spent years churning out boxy transport, and when they got that right, they turned their attention to sports cars. And they gave us stuff like the 240Z, MR2, the Celica, and of course, the Mazda RX-01.
Cheeky enough to look like a Porsche, and indeed brash enough to steal some of its sales, the RX-07 was a perfect accessory for the 1980s, when it sold by the truckload round the world.
The latest RX-07 is a fine car, but it's a case of built by robots, marketed by idiots, because when it went on sale in 1992, overnight, the price of an RX-07 went up by 10 grand, which meant that you could buy lots of other coupes, including a BMW, with a few less horsepower for a lot less cash. Well, sales of this in Britain alone went from 500 a year down to 25.
At times like that, you can either call up international rescue or build this, the new top secret replacement, the RX-01.
You would not believe the fuss and the aggro I've had to get in this seat. They've checked out my driving, they've gone through my hair for nits, and they've scrutinised my driving licence with a microscope. Naturally, I had to explain that in England, the fixed penalty is a great sign of honour. Well, they've obviously learnt the lesson from the MX-5. Keep it simple. This car is about 400 pounds lighter and much smaller and more compact than its big fat daddy. And at the same time, they've managed to bring the heavy stuff like the engine and the fuel tank much further into the wheelbase. As a result, well, like the MX-5, it just handles brilliantly.
Life is also a lot simpler under the bonnet, though you wouldn't notice from that glorious sound. The rotary engine is still there, but all the turbos have been ditched. However, thanks to some clever jiggling of the plumbing, the RX-01 is still good for 220 horsepower and 140 miles an hour.
They really are breaking with the past, because whereas the old RX-7 interior was all dark and moody, this is like Notting Hill Carnival. I've got red, silver, chrome surrounds, carbon fibre all down the centre console, and then this big jam roll for an airbag. It works really well. I just hope that when they come to build it, they don't bottle out. Ooh. God, I feel like Alec Guinness in that box. I know you probably won't, lads, but when you build the real thing, please don't forget the air conditioning. Now, because they've moved the engine so far back, it means they can put in this steep, sloping bonnet, so you get this stunning front end with a huge spoiler. It's absolutely gorgeous, my favourite part of the car. I'm not as mad about the back end, but you have a look at that yourself. I think I'll stay down here. They say that this time it's a proper 2+2. I know, it's funny, all car companies come out with that one. Maybe they use that bloke off Fantasy Island as the model.
There's no doubt the RX-01 has that extra dash of spice which makes a car special. But before you take a hammer to the piggy bank, hold on. Apparently it's not enough these days just to build a car that's fast and gorgeous. You've also got to get the business side right. And of late, Mazda's been a bit fingers and thumbs in that department. So much so that Ford recently bought a huge chunk of the company. Now they can't afford to put a foot wrong, and if they launch a new car, everything has to go right.
You know, I don't know how much they paid that marketing consultant to come up with that stupid 35 grand price tag, but if they just buy me a pint, I'll tell them the blooming obvious, that if this car's going to succeed, it's got to be about £25,000. Oh, damn, I won't get me a pint now.
I don't care how you get here.
I actually met the big boss of Mazda the other night, and I asked him, I said, now come on, when are we going to get this car? And in that usual forthright Japanese way, he said, "Oh, I don't know, it's hard to say, a tricky one, that one, committee meeting, accountants, blah, blah, blah." Now, come on, stop dithering. Just get your spanners out.